Hey guys, it's Riva and this morning was the release of General Grievous officially in Battlefront 2. You can go onto the game, download an update, and you'll be able to play as General Grievous right now. So today I'm going to give a gameplay guide on how to actually use General Grievous, because a new hero can be quite hard to get used to sometimes. And that is exactly the case with General Grievous. So I'm going to break down everything you need to know and some tips and tricks on how to get started with these abilities. So we're going to start off with Thrust Surge. This is where General Grievous will leap towards a target and will kind of do a stabbing motion with all four of his lightsabers. Now this ability isn't always, you can't use it whenever you want basically. If you just tap the button to use the ability, it won't trigger, unless you are indicated that you are able to. So you'll see these kind of blue and green underlines around your stamina bar. When that appears, that means that you are now in range to use that ability. So as soon as you see those colours, you can press the ability and you can guarantee that you'll leap towards the target in front of you. You can't just use the ability whenever you feel. And that can be quite a tough thing to get around. In Heroes vs Villains, you might just want to be spamming that button, but you're going to have to look at a specific target before you use it. Because if you use it and you're not really looking at anyone, if you're not indicated, then the ability will not trigger. So you have to be sure that you are looking at someone when you trigger this. Next up we got Claw Rush. Now Claw Rush is basically you go down on all of your 6 legs and you just rush towards the target and you'll knock them all down and deal damage on your way. This ability can be cancelled, so you don't have to run the entire duration. You can run for about a second and then cancel it, which is really effective in pair with Thrust Surge. A tip I like to give you guys is you use Claw Rush for about 2 seconds, knock over your target, cancel the Claw Rush so you're standing back up, and then use your stabbing Thrust Surge ability while they're down and getting back up. That is a really good tip because you've dealt damage on the way and you'll be able to get a stabbing motion full hit on them where they're completely vulnerable. Now with Claw Rush, another interesting tip I want to give you guys is that when you finish the animation, when Grievous stands back up, he does kind of a frontal flip to stand back up. When he does stand up, his legs kicking in the motion actually deal damage to the player. So you can rush towards a player, you can knock them over, but then if you cancel it just as you knock them over, that would be a guaranteed kill, because you've done damage on the way through, and as you stand back up, that transition of animation between Grievous will result in a kick to the head basically. So Claw Rush has the ability to kind of have a end result as well if you use it in closed areas. Now on to Unrelenting Advance. Now this ability I believe is really tough to use, simply because you can only move forward, left and right. You can't move backwards, so you're only going forward, so it can be quite hard to control. So my advice for this is, just like the Claw Rush, you can cancel it whenever you want. You can go down a closed narrow space, or if a hero is further away from you, you can use this ability to block everything that is coming towards you, but as soon as you get close to that hero, you can cancel the ability whenever you want. At this point, that range in hero, that range where you're next to another hero, if you cancel it at the right time, you would then have the indicator to use your Thrust Surge. So you can kind of use the Unrelenting Advance to get towards your target without taking any damage, but once you do get there, cancel the ability and use your Thrust Surge. So that's basically the outline of the abilities and some tips and tricks that I can give you guys so far. All I'm going to say is Grievous has got some quite nitpicks. So the transition between 2 animations can be quite frustrating. In Heroes vs Villains, we all know that it can get really fast paced and you want to use your ability as quick as you can. But it involves things like, for example, the Thrust Surge. You can't use it just by pressing the button anymore. It's not like Kylo Ren's Frenzy where you can use it, but if you miss it, then the ability is still wasted. it's like you have to lock onto a target before you actually are able to use it, which can be quite tough to do because you want to make sure that you're going after the right target. Another tip I want to give you guys is when you use Claw Rush, you might want to swing your character around and look in a different direction. Grievous will not automatically turn around. You're going to have to move your controller or your mouse to physically turn around after that ability. He won't just kind of snap to where the camera is facing. So that can be a tough thing to get around as well, because it feels like you're in complete physical control of Grievous. Other than that, if you want to try out Grievous's star cards and his upgrades and stuff like that, if you go into arcades, everything will be unlocked at epic rarity. So you can go in and try General Grievous with all of his star cards before you try him out in Galactic Assault or Heroes vs Villains. Likewise with if you don't want to buy him yet, if you don't have the credits, he is available to use and free in arcade. So I would highly recommend you guys go in there and just test out these abilities. I did the mistake of jumping into Heroes vs Villains and I basically had no idea what anything did. So I've just spent an hour in arcades and I've completely learned how these abilities work, some tips and stuff like that. So as for now, that's all I can give you guys. I'm gonna be digging deep into General Grievous to find out his special abilities, some hidden abilities, and just all round testing. So expect some new videos over the week. So that's my tips and tricks for General Grievous. I hope you guys are enjoying him so far. My Discord server is in the description below. Thank you to all my Patreons and YouTube sponsors. Yado in the comments. Thank you all and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. It's been Riva.